Start streaming. We've already been streaming, and now it's the internet. Hello, internet.
Oh,
Hello,
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 internet
Internet.
again.
It's
Mm-mm.
good to see you again.
Woo.
Is it though? Is it really?
It is the day that I've had and the week that I've had. This is this is good stuff. Good palate
That's
cleanser midweek. Um, this is of course our weekly D&D game, Wednesday Night Dice. Um, yeah, give it up for Wednesday Night Dice,
I don't know.
or don't. That's
Yeah,
fine. Um, Before we begin, I have a few shout outs that we always like to do. Um, you will be seeing some Incarnate and Dungeon Alchemist maps, two very cool tools that I use all of the time. Foundry VTT, of course, Hero Forge for all of our minis. It is still on my to do list to get a recording of our dear friend Brian and his Hero Forge ad read. Um, but I'm a bad person, so that hasn't happened yet. Um, Monument Studios for all of the music that one day perhaps we will be able to start using again, until I get it figured out. And of course the big reason we're all here, always all year round, raising money for Extra Life and Lori's Children's Hospital in Chicago. Um, you can, players, friendly reminder, you haven't been doing this, but I'm gonna keep reminding you. You can pay to win or pay to make me lose, whatever the situation calls for. And you, the audience, can also pay to let them win or me lose. So we will be keeping an eye on that as much as we possibly can. Um, keeping the donations real simple. For the time being, $2 for an advantage or disadvantage to a player of your choice on their next die roll. Um, so yeah, I know I sped through all of that a little fast tonight, but I'm very excited for what is behind door number 2.
Zilla's decided that whatever's going on, he's retired. He doesn't really care anymore. So
It's gonna go
peace.
home.
He's
I
just
mean,
going
it's.
home.
Yeah,
I
It's
mean,
a
no, no,
he's
no.
like he's getting on in age. It's getting close to his bedtime.
it's a
Yeah.
late.
It's
The sun is down.
it's
He
probably
should
a
be. He
lifetime
really should be home.
yeah, it's probably a lifetime supply of rice-a-roni. So I mean, he just needs to open it so he has food that he doesn't have to spend his retirement on.
Do you dare besmirch the good name of Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat?
I absolutely do not because
That
I am
actually
a fan
sounds
of the
like a
San Francisco
monster.
treat. It's like that bug monster in Buffy where it was all the
Yeah.
maggots.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Um. So, as we begin, do I have any volunteers to just give us a little recap of what had happened last week?
So
Yep, go ahead, Cord.
we yeah, we found out information about Troll and Billow boots from Foldar. Um, and we went over to the Forge Master's Temple and we talked to the giant Agir, who told us that Trollan wasn't there. Um, and Endeavor was very interested in all the goings on at the temple. Waylaid us a little bit, but it's okay. We got on our way
Maybe the
to
rest of you need
Moonlight
to
Row.
find God too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks.
we went on our way to Moonlight Row where we did spot Senor Billow Boots and followed him to this bar that was really out of the way, called the Dire Keg, and followed him in there. And we tried to kind of make conversation, but he wasn't interested. And we mentioned that the forge had blown up, and he kind of didn't give too much of a reaction and then left. Um, and tried and almost got he got pounced on by Brutus when he left. And so we kind of followed him out, and Helia and Spider Endeavor followed him for quite a ways until we saw him take off running, at which point we followed him to the back alley behind the bar, where we saw him disappear through a wall. And at that point, we called for the others who have joined us now, and we have found a mysterious door awaiting for us where Trollin had uh, gone through the wall, through the door. And I believe Endeavor was going to scope out the
I
place via.
Endeavor scoped it out
Yes, that's right.
briefly, saw the one guy sort of by the door in there, hallway doors.
Mhm.
Yes.
Spidered their way back out to the party, and
Yeah.
then I think we ended at that point.
Yes. And that's that.
All right. Yes, with a mild assistance from Tina, Court, go ahead and give yourself an inspiration.
Yeah.
Next, I think we may have forgotten to do this last week because we were kind of in the middle of stuff. I wanted to do some role play character questionnaire stuff.
Sweet.
So I would like everyone to roll a percentile. Just an amuse bouche, if you will. Just getting the blood flowing, getting the mind working, getting into character. So
35.
Tina, you had a 35.
Yep.
95 for me.
Ooh.
So Tina, why is your character's lowest stat the one that it is? The in character reason, not because there's no reason for me to have a 16 strength.
Endeavor's lowest stat is charisma because they really don't have a comprehensive grasp on social interaction. They were built for a very particular purpose and have spent most of their fairly short life with a very small group of people. So their behavior and the way that they've learned to interact is heavily influenced by those people. And well, some of those people are maybe not the most
Is maybe one
socially.
of those people a clockwork dog? And maybe
Um
another one of those people a
yeah, not all those not
clockwork insect?
some of them were not people. So yes, they are not the most charismatic, both in the sense of having a strong presence, and I think also kind of internally, they're still very much in the figuring themselves out stage, so they also don't have that sort of internal cohesion as well.
Okay, excellent. Um, Court, what did you have? A 90 something?
95.
95. Uh, First, I would like to ask, this is going to be a two-parter. Court, what languages do you speak?
Ah, Helia speaks common, deep speech, thieves' cant, and undercommon.
Why?
Um,
uh, how did your character learn the languages that they speak?
So, as a changeling, she is a fae, which normally you would expect her to know Sylvan and some of the other fae languages. However, she has always grown up around dwarves and in the forges and mines. So, uh, deep speech and undercommon were sort of natural for her to learn as she kind of came up through the mountain in a sense.
Hmm.
Once she came through the Feywild. Thieves' Cant she learned because she's a rogue and they speak in code, and you have to kind of know the underbelly of the world in order to be able to, I don't want to say police it, but in order to keep an eye on it.
A little bit of like know thy enemy.
Exactly.
type stuff. Having the kind of background and being part of the guild that you are, I also imagine part of that thieves' cant is like cop speak,
Mhm.
that you don't refer to something as, oh, there's a B and E going on. No, it's a 2319
Yeah.
or whatever the code is.
Yeah. And she's a spy background as well, so
She has CIA speak.
yeah,
Yeah.
she has CIA speak, definitely.
Yes, I
You
love
know,
it.
so yeah, there's Operation, Blacksmith or whatever is going on right now.
Okay. I'm just gonna go around the circle that I can see on Discord, which brings us to Rhodes.
I had a 67.
67. I can definitely tell you're using your iPad for Discord this evening.
Sorry. Don't know why Discord's being a wonderful app that I would never disparage. Thank you, Discord, for existing.
What is your character the most envious about regarding anyone in the party? I understand this one might be a little tough. We're still in the getting to know you and team building phase.
He's probably the most envious of Lula because she's kind of this like young genius, but like just so good at all these things. And he had to like, he was the sort of person that wasn't very good at anything naturally. And so he just had to work very hard his whole life. So there's a little bit of jealousy and a little bit of resentment of just like, how
Aw.
does this kid pick up any random piece of stuff and then make a sentient living creature? What the hell? Also cool. What the hell?
Yeah, why can't I do that? I see. All right. And last but certainly not least, uh, the wife, Sam.
In true natural fashion, a 4.
You got a one. Oh, I thought you were gonna say a one.
No, I would have been really impressed with that. Instead, I'm rolling cleric numbers. Can't roll that when I need to be a cleric.
Okay.
But
What relationship does your character have with their parents and siblings? If any?
She has a very interesting relationship with her family. She doesn't have siblings. But she does have her mother and father, who are both tinkerers and builders themselves, but they are part of a different guild. They are part of the Dragon Steel Guild, where most of her family is established. She does have some aunts and uncles in the Stoneblood Guild.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of, she loves her parents. They get along relatively well, can bond over the things that they love. There is a little animosity and drama in her decision to not be a part of Dragonsteel and going out and adventuring while still retaining, the family passion for tinkering. So they all get along, but it's a lot of when your kid chooses to go to art school instead of Harvard, where they would have had a free ride and, decade or generations of, previous attendance and all that jazz, and abandon it all to go to art school in Paris.
I like to think that the issue, the tension between you and your family is that everyone in your family is theoretical physics and you majored in applied physics.
Yeah, that it's really it. Like, she's still doing the work, but it's
It's a
she's
very
out
different
in the field.
application.
Different application. They think that, not only because she abandoned the family, so some of her family members are a little salty about that when she tries to like get help for the adventuring that she's doing, that kind of stuff. But they definitely, there's a little bit of that kind of friction of them not really understanding why she had to leave, the guild to do the things she likes to do. She could do it just as well here.
Okay. Well, I don't know how else I can stall for Court to come back.
I'm not sure where Court went.
um,
I heard a cough and she got up, so it could just be tissues, but I'm not sure.
yeah. We're giving Court a little bit of leeway because losing your game of hide and seek to COVID is
No fun.
no fun.
We're COVID free as of this afternoon.
Yay!
COVID free house. Yep.
Congratulations.
Very exciting. We got to take the masks off and everything. It's very nice.
Yay! And wipe down everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, she just stayed in her room for about a week.
Mhm.
I left things outside the door. She picked them up. That was about it.
That's the way you got to do it, though.
Yeah, it seems to have worked. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. I did not test positive yet, so
Yet.
I don't know. We still don't know if I had it earlier in the month. It's unclear, so who knows? But yes.
Oh, so this might all be your fault.
I don't think so, only because I had it like 2.5 weeks prior to her, and I don't think it incubates that long anymore.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, I don't think it's like 20 days anymore where it got ridiculous in the beginning, so I don't think I brought it around, but unclear. COVID is weird.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure it's Rude Man who coughed on her when we were out shopping. Yeah. I mean, that seems a little more
What
likely.
a lovely human.
Yeah. Hey, Rude Man, if you're watching.
Exactly.
Well, while we're waiting for Court, Dustin, you want to talk about Extra Life Part 2?
Extra Life Part 2, yes.
Electric Boogaloo.
Extra Life Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. December 30th, just a few weeks away, we are doing a bonus live stream for Extra Life. Still trying to hit our overall fundraising goal for the year. It is going to be a glitch inspired kind of multiverse type of game. If any of our players are watching, I am going to have all of the synopses and character building rules posted later tonight. Please don't hate me.
No, the
But-
DMs totally had this done so long ago. Yeah.
Anyway, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It is not going to be a full 25 hours. We only have the fortitude for that once per year. That stream will be running. It'll be 3 games, 4 hours each. We're gonna run from noon Central Time to midnight Central Time, and again that is December 30th, which is Saturday. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. There are some amazing ideas floating around for what we're going to do there, and everybody should check it out and help us hit our fundraising goal. And we're going to have, just like we normally do, we'll have some donation perks and fun and cool stuff that we'll be doing on stream, helping the players out. And, as I always like to say, pay to win. Pay to win or pay to punish the DM, whatever the case may be.
To help the kids.
Help the kids.
For the kids.
Also, it's before the end of the tax year and it's deductible,
Yeah.
so.
Well, Only like
charitable donation.
$650 away from our goal.
Yeah. So we are very close, and every dollar helps. And it's nothing to do with us. It's it's all going to help kids, whether it's new equipment or masks or support for kids and their families.
Service
That
dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, service dogs, um, toys. That money goes to help those kids in many different ways, um, which is all extremely cool. Um, but yes, on to door number two. Um, so Tina,
Yeah,
you had wild shaped
I did.
into a spider,
Yep.
and you crawled through a crack
Yep.
in the secret hidden door, which had led to a short, narrow hallway with a guy, just a burly looking dwarf, standing in this little alcove next to and in front of another wood and steel reinforced door
Yes.
that was pulled shut. You have now scurried
Yes.
back out the crack in that wall and have relayed this information to the group.
Yeah, I think to relay it, I will change back just because I don't want to try and Charlotte's Web this. This is a little more complicated than I know.
Kind of hoping for more Charlotte's Web action.
I feel like that would be unfair to my friends. To make them wait an hour and a half while I weave an entire sentence across the building.
That is an hour and a half per sentence.
Yeah.
So we're definitely not going through the door this session.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. This is how brevity becomes very important. But I will wild shape back and just drop down and relay, yes. There is a hallway and a couple doors, and there is a man at the end of the hallway. He looks, well, kind of like the people in the bar. Maybe it's Oscar.
Um, Tina, go ahead and make for me an insight check with disadvantage.
Insight check.
You were catching a glimpse at this guy as a spider on the ceiling
Yep.
a minute or two ago.
Let's see. Disadvantage sucks because that means the nat 20 is no good.
No.
But 16.
16. Okay. Um yeah, I mean the best you can tell of the dude's like posture, demeanor, he wasn't like talking to anybody, there was no one else there. He was mostly just kind of standing, leaning up against the wall, being attentive, but with a 16, he may have been bored.
He was just standing there.
Yeah, he was just kind of standing there.
We go in?
But I suppose we. I suppose if we want to find Trollin, we need to go in. We should probably ask after the same people that he was going to.
Oh.
Apparently. Where did I just had it up? I just had it up. Go back here.
No, I got it.
Moonlight Row. Here we go. Yeah. Corbin's not working tonight. Have to ask for we have to ask for Oscar.
Of course it happens. He attacks us.
I just look at Hell, where it's like, is this your language? Is this what you speak? Do you speaketh this language?
You mean, do I speak thief?
You speak super secret doors
Oh,
and the
I
things
can
that are
try.
behind them.
There's 2 doors, by the way. I
There's
don't know which
another
one he
door on
went
the
through.
inside.
There was a door at the end of the corridor, and then there was a man, and then there was a door.
Okay. I mean,
Si- okay. Well, I suppose we should check the door for traps to start off with. That's, breaking and entering 101, I suppose.
Court. Uh, I would like you to make a history check. But I will let you add your proficiency bonus to it.
Okay. 14?
14.
Mhm.
Okay. You Endeavor asks you like, "Hey, what is your take on this?" And I'm going to relay a couple of facts for you. You walked into a small, dirty, grungy bar, and you noticed that Trallin, the patron who you were following, asked after a particular individual to the barman. And the barman said, uh, "No, Corbin's not working tonight. You should ask for Oscar." And shortly after, that patron left. You're now, after leading you kind of on a wild goose chase, um, knowing that they were being followed, um, you've now arrived pretty much back where you started. And there's a secret door. Behind that secret door is a guarded door right next to this bar. The reason I asked only you to make this check is because you are the only one who knows thieves can't.
Yeah. I don't think that's Oscar. They were speaking in code.
Oh. So what's an Oscar then?
Oscar is probably, I would guess, is Corbin or whatever code name he goes by. Wasn't working at the bar tonight. Clearly, something else is going on here.
we should go in.
Yes.
Indeed.
All right.
Just open the door.
I mean,
The,
Elle said she wanted to check for
Endeavor,
traps, but
you are standing in front of the door.
Mhm.
What do you do? And I have unpaused Foundry,
Mm.
so
can't see that map.
you
Yeah, we're on the
guys
splash page.
Yeah, we're still on the map.
Oh, you're still on the splash page?
Mm-hmm.
Well, damn.
Foundry again.
Also very dark in this alleyway.
There. Now, Endeavor. Now you are standing in front of this
A door.
secret door.
Mm.
Tina, do you actually see the door icon?
Oh, I don't see crap right now. I did as a spider, but I don't anymore.
Okay.
I
I
can
don't
see my
actually know where anybody else's token is on this
I
map.
can see
I'm like up in
myself
the
and I can
corner.
see roughly where the
I can see where all the dots are, so I assume y'all are like somewhere down
Yep.
here.
Do you need someone with dark vision to open the door?
I take a step back to
Or
allow
you need someone to light a torch. That's a thing too.
I will pull out a hold on.
Do I have a thing?
Yeah, I'll pull out like a little literally in modern terms it would be like a glow stick and just like crack a little bit in it, shake it up, and it's just like a little glow. It's literally a 5-foot radius light.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll help.
Either way, I'm going to step out of the way so that someone who is more knowledgeable about secret doors can do something about it.
All right. So, Sam, Lula, you now hold this little glow stick,
Mm-hmm.
and you raid as long as you're holding it. I just changed your token. That you now radiate dim light in a 5-foot radius.
I don't see that light.
Oh, hey.
Maybe because I can
Probably
see.
because you have dark vision.
Oh, okay.
Everything is already dim light.
Everyone else can see
So
it.
you're not the one who needs it.
And the blind ones can see it. That's all that really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Go. Worst case, they want to fight.
I suppose we could accidentally stumble upon it. You know, pretend to be a drunk passerby from the bar.
I don't get drunk. I
All
could
four of us?
malfunction though.
Just
Or we
see
just
if we
saw.
can get in.
Yeah, let's see if we can get in. If they would need to ask, then they'll ask.
Okay.
Boop.
She's gonna take her sword and try to kind of push her way through the door.
Make an investigation check.
Okay. That is an 18 plus 7.
You
25.
draw your sword and you just start kind of like poking at the wall. And you poke a particular brick by happenstance, and the brick gives a little, and the wall slides open.
Hey.
Huh. Was easier than I thought. Onward.
Onward.
We'll step through.
Dustin, I'm going to leave Brutus out here. So you.
Okay. I
If you want to leave my
I'm-
token alone, that's fine.
I'm gonna leave
I'm
your
just-
token alone, but I'm gonna put another Brutus out here.
That's fine. Yeah, I think
Just so that
I
you
think
know.
he should just stay out.
Okay. So Brutus is sitting in the alleyway
Oh boy.
by his lonesome.
Shh, don't say it like that. Being a good guard dog.
He is a good guard dog. So yeah, the door opens. Do you all head inside?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, move
Zill
your minis.
gestures everyone to go first, though. The standard, like,
Yeah, everybody start moving your minis inside.
I can't actually see the I can't see the
Uh.
door to see where it goes inside. It just
The
It's telling
door
me to
is
pull out of the wall.
directly in front of Endeavor.
okay.
Let me move out of the way briefly. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Oh, I collided with a wall.
I'll move out
Oh,
of the
you
way.
had just stacked my tokens last week. Now
Oh,
there are 2
how about that?
Brutuses.
That's like
Super
Endeavor's nightmare.
It really is.
Ghost
No, because then I can
Brutuses.
have
All
a
right.
Brutus too.
So all of you head
Sure.
inside,
Head inside.
and Helia, As you all file in, you have to file in. The door shuts behind Zilny,
Mm.
and the uh, the grouchy looking dwarf kind of stands up off the wall and kind of looks down the hallway, seeing the group of you just kind of like filing into and running out of space in this small hallway. And he looks to Helia and says, "You look lost."
On the contrary, I'm here to see Oscar.
And he kind of, and with that, he gives a slight smile and a nod, reaches past you ever so slightly, and pushes the door open and says, "Welcome to the Dire Keg."
She'll step in and just kind of step off
Um,
to the side so everybody else can. And she, as she walks in, she's gonna go there with me.
um, as the door opens, um, inside this hallway, dead silence. As soon as the door opens, the sound of um, laughter, drinking, music, people erupts into this small hallway. And I really wish I had actual music to go
I
along
see,
with this, but that is
I
a
see who's
failing of my
playing
own.
music on the stage too.
Um,
Guys, look at
directly
that bar.
as you walk in to the real Dire Keg, the first thing you see is the Dire Keg,
Mm.
an enormous barrel that reaches nearly to the 15-foot ceiling, 15 feet, 20-foot ceiling. It is on its side. Um, and every so often, a um a woman who is elven, maybe half elven. You can't quite tell. In a large, frilly, sweeping skirt and corset, will pass by, fill maybe a half a dozen or more tankards from this enormous keg, and just keep walking. Um, Immediately to your left, as you walk through the door, and you do all walk through the door closes behind you. Um, Immediately to your left, you see a stage. On said stage, there is a band playing. Um, there are. There's a band playing in the corner. A pair of Eladrin are playing lutes. One is a spring Eladrin, the other autumn. A a a strong but wiry looking dwarf is playing a collection of drums and other percussive instruments in the back corner of the stage, and they are being led, to the great surprise of no one, by a certain satyr with a violin. Um, the There is, ahead of you, you can see a couple of tables. Many of them have people already sitting at them who are drinking or playing games. There is a group of patrons in the back corner, that you can see, but like just behind the keg. who appear to be playing darts, and a large bar in the opposite back corner, kind of directly ahead of you, um, that has patrons and two bartenders who are constantly making and running drinks. Um, I would like everyone to make a perception check. All of that you get for free.
13.
You're done.
Oh no.
No, it's been acting up
12.
lately. 11.
Also 11.
Court, you were supposed to get a 10. It's two 11s, a 12, and a 13. Excellent. You all see that as you walked in, you saw this one woman with a half a dozen steins, being refilled at the keg. You see three other women who look fairly similar and wearing the same garb, um, doing similar waitressing type tasks, running drinks, serving tables, that sort of thing. Um, on your right, you can see uh, there is a staircase that goes up to an upper floor. Um, that upper floor is mostly a balcony that seems to encompass the entire um these back two tables all the way to your left, or all the way to your right and back. um there's two tables each with four patrons sitting at them. That entire little rectangle is covered by the balcony, and that balcony pretty much encompasses about 15 feet, starting at the door. So directly above you is where the balcony starts, and it snakes around all the way to the upper right corner behind the keg, about 15 feet deep. Um, so essentially, it is the north wall, and the stage itself has no balcony. Um, but the balcony, snakes across that whole area as well. So the bar is also underneath this balcony. Um, Also, to your right, you can see, let me count them to double check. One, two, three, four, five. You see five matching Warforged, who are they all appear to be um, wearing identical armor, and they are mostly standing, maybe not quite at attention, um, but these immediately you recognize them as guards or muscle for the establishment. Um, and all five of them appear to be functionally identical.
That's
Um,
rude.
Three of them, so along the same wall, the the western wall that you guys are standing against, um, these three, you notice, are all standing directly in front of closed doors. There is a closed door all the way in the back, to your right, um, and uh, this bouncer is not blocking that door, but is standing directly next to it. But he is blocking a different door,
Mm.
because there's two doors in this corner.
Mm.
Um, the other two, because I said there were five, The other two bouncers that you can see immediately are flanking the large fireplace between the stairs and the bar on this south facing wall here. Um, Directly in front of you, there are two tables. One of them is a small kind of four-top right in front of the stage. The other is a six-top, on your right side. Those appear to be the only two tables that you can see immediately that could seat your entire group, or the four of you could sit at the bar.
Well, anyone want a drink while we check this place out?
Yeah.
I'll head over to the bar.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go kind of around the corner.
Okay. You snake your way past these couple of tables, um, and you can see that, um, you know, one of the tables it's just four people having drinks. At another table, they appear to be playing cards. Doesn't appear that there's any money down on the game. They're just passing the time and having fun. Um, but you get to the bar, and a moment or two goes by. That this establishment is clearly busy. Um, but um, after a few moments, one of the bartenders moves over to the corner to greet you and says, "Hey, what are you having?"
I'll have 3 ales. And do you have a piping hot tea?
3 ales and a piping hot tea. Uh, sure. Where are you sitting?
Uh,
Just here? You got a table?
uh, take it at that six-top over there.
All right. I'll have those over in just a minute.
Thank you. She'll
And he
leave,
walks away, presumably to start making your drinks.
and she figures he'll open the tab and then they'll close it out. And I'll go take a seat at this free six-top table over here.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Lula had.
Seeing.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, nope, you go. You go.
Lula had gone to like follow and then stopped as soon as she saw like the indication that we were gonna six top. So she kind of hangs. She doesn't quite sit for a moment until Helia returns. I would like to do another, either perception or investigation to. We've gotten kind of the vibe of this place. Probably shouldn't start anything, but she would like to keep an eye out for Billowboots.
Okay. Um, Walking in, you haven't seen him.
Right.
But yeah, I will definitely take that under advisement that you are on the lookout for him.
Yeah, maybe peering up at the balcony if she can see anybody or like familiar clothing, anything like that, or in general.
Um, make another perception check, specifically into the balcony.
11.
11. Okay. Um, there really isn't much activity up on the balconies.
Okay.
There are a couple of people up there. Um, a few of them have drinks in their hands, but there's no other tables up there. The people who are up there are mostly just their, balcony seating for the band.
Okay.
Um, but you do see that um pretty much the entire southern side. Um, the eastern wall, the far end of the balcony where the balcony ends, there are no doors on that wall.
Okay.
But the southern area and the along the western wall, the entire walls are just lined with doors.
So we don't know if they're
Um,
like internal. Got it.
but none of those doors appear to be guarded.
Okay.
Unlike the three doors um, that are on this level.
Okay. Then I will take a seat.
Okay. Um, what is Endeavor doing?
Um, Endeavor is similarly as Hell goes up to the bar. They want to look around the room and specifically looking for markings of something that would indicate either guild or house, because normally in a lot of the places they go, you can tell either by what someone's wearing, if they have patches, if they have tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And they're curious, in a place that's hidden like this, are we seeing a mix of guilds? Are we seeing maybe over-representation of one particular guild, including the Warforged, if they're stamped or have something specific? Whether they'd be a member, whether they would even be of a guild.
Who are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the staff, the patrons, or kind of both?
I would say we will start with probably the first people that they encounter. So it would probably be the Warforged that's just to the right as we come in.
Okay.
And that would be more just kind of a like, kind of probably a surprised glance, just because like, oh hey, hello there.
Mm-hmm.
Hello there, tall friend. And then kind of working as they move into the room, mostly patrons at first. It may branch out, but probably depending on what we're seeing clientele wise.
Okay. Um, go ahead and make your perception check.
We're not using you anymore today. That one has to think about what it did. You can stay out. 22.
22. Okay. Um, you do try to flag the Warforged, the doorman that
Mm,
you gave the password to.
mm,
And there are, and you kind of, as you go to sit down, there are four tables of patrons,
mm,
just kind of around you guys. Um, and so those are the people that you see first.
mm.
You see, as you make your way around to that far side of the table,
Yes.
um, the two women that are at the table, like directly behind you, um, are both have um uh they both have tattoos indicative of House Barrel Shield.
Mm-mm.
Um, the doorman and the Warforged, you don't see any tattoos. You know that tattoos
Mm-hmm.
are indicative of your house, which is more closely linked to your bloodline and your
Mm-hmm.
lineage. Um, your guild is something that is not so closely linked to your lineage, so those would not really be tattoos unless you're like a fanatic. Um, but the doorman um and the warforged that you see that's nearby, um both of them.
I will have you know that Lula definitely has one of those weird uncles that has a dragon steel tattoo like, right on his face.
Oh
It's like a
Yeah,
giant dragon, just like all the way up his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah. Dragon steel. It's a dragon
Yeah,
Yeah.
because dragons are cool.
not to
And
interrupt, but
generally, if you're gonna be a fanatic follower of your guild to the
yeah,
point where it is a cult, Dragonsteel, it is common to see that. Golden Expanse, it is common to see that because miners are fucking
very dedicated.
crazy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And the Hummingwell Guild, it is also fairly common
Yeah.
because minstrels are hippies and weirdos, and
They're artistic.
not for a fanatical reason, but bards are weird, man.
Mm.
uh,
They're artists, okay?
Yeah.
yeah. The
Um.
fopple apples are definitely the fopple apples and the extension trees, like the
Mhm.
extension branches. They are definitely known for like a little bit of the fanaticism for
Yeah.
their couple guilds that they represent for sure.
Um. But the uh the Dorman and the Warforged both have a patch for
Mm,
the Doorman or
mm,
painted onto the Warforged armor. Is the Gilded Society.
mm, mhm, mhm. Mm, mhm.
Um, the table behind you that you saw the
Mm,
tattoos, you do not see any like guild patches.
mm,
Um, in fact, I know the miniatures that I have chosen to represent these people um, undersell it a little bit, but all three of those people are dressed for a night out. These are not their work clothes.
okay. Is it fancy? Like it's something where like it would be
Um, the tables do not have tablecloths. It is still a bar,
mhm.
but it's a really nice place. It's like it, especially in comparison to the other side
Mm,
where you guys had gone in first. This place is clean, which in itself kind of says a little bit. Um, but it is, yeah, it is big. It is fancy enough so you guys don't necessarily like look out of place with what you're wearing. But neither do these people, being a little bit more gussied up,
mm.
as it were. No one's wearing a tie, if that's what you mean. Um, what is Zilny doing during all of this?
Um, we just went through a secret door to a secret bar. Zil assumes there is illegal activity happening.
Okay.
And so he is on the lookout for just anything that looks suspicious, like is money changing, like, oh, money's changing hands and someone's kicking a suitcase under the table, just like anything that would make his cop brain just ding, 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 ding in the back. He just assumes this place has to be shady.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Okay. 16.
16.
Mhm.
There's a lot of that sort of activity happening, like money changing hands and um that sort of thing, games being played, but like you kind of have to look at it with an analytical eye, and everything is being done way out in the open. Um, and everyone is being maybe sort of maybe not blasé about it. But everyone is being fairly casual. The like card games that are being played, it does not appear that gambling is happening per se, although that would not be uncommon. The unless you are dealing with a crap ton of money and the house is taking like a really big percentage of it, small time like gambling is not really a big deal. Um, Large quantities or large values is fairly taboo for an independent to do. Um, and you can be licensed for that kind of thing. But if you're putting a gold piece down on a game of darts, nobody cares. Um, and that would be kind of the extent of the gambling that you see. Um, but I mean, outside of that, nothing is. There's deals being made, money is changing hands, but nothing is really throwing up red flags per se.
So everyone's a criminal and they're okay with it because everyone's complicit. I see. Okay.
I Not even that. It's
That's what Zill thinks, though.
yes,
Yeah.
that's what Zill thinks.
Mm-hmm.
But also understand. You know what? Yeah, that's what Zill thinks.
Like bar
Is that
full of shady people. These are, but he also understands these are the low levels. Like these aren't the real criminals. Those doors up there, that's probably where the real shit's happening. But everybody down here is just like casually breaking the law, and they're all okay with it. And you don't arrest those people unless you're trying to get them to flip on somebody else. So whatever.
Yeah,
do
there's
we
only
also
one
fit into that category?
We are licensed.
there's only one reason you arrest somebody for jaywalking. And that's because they're an informant, and you need to talk to them about their drug dealer
Yeah.
because that's the guy you're actually after.
Yep. So he's
So
still watching.
okay. Um, you also don't see Billow Boots.
Mm.
So just for
Because
the
he's a
record.
big criminal.
Clearly, he's upstairs in the room. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do it. Shady.
Yeah. Um, a few minutes go by. The four of you've gotten settled, and one of the um, I'm gonna say this lady makes her way over to your table with a couple of ales and a tea, and she says, three ales and a tea. Who had the tea? Of course. And sets the tea down in front of you, passes out the ales, and says, um, are you opening a tab?"
I don't see why not.
Okay. And what is your collateral for the tab then?
Money?
That wouldn't be opening a tab, dear.
Uh,
You can just pay for your drinks as they come. That's no problem.
Forgive me. It's my first time in this bar.
I know.
I mean, I don't know that I have much that I'm willing to part with.
And you would get it back if you paid your tab at the end of the night.
Indeed. she'll take out one of her non-magical short swords. All swords are dear to her.
Okay.
And put it
Shocking.
down.
This is my shocked face.
How many swords does she have?
I mean, a couple. 3 and 2 daggers.
The rookie numbers, you gotta pump those numbers up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's low level numbers. It's fine. We'll get there.
She's half of the level Catalyst. Okay.
She takes the short sword, um, and I assume you give it to her with the scabbard.
Yeah.
She unsheathes the sword. There's not a ton of space to do this, but she unsheathes the short sword, gives it a twirl, tests the weight, and gives it a 5-second inspection, um, and says, "Okay." Um,
It's a good blade, sharp as ever. I do keep it polished.
it seems that way. Yeah, whenever you're ready to cash out, I'll say that I'll give you 25 gold worth of drinks on the tab for this.
Yep.
So whenever you're ready to at the end of the night or when you're ready to leave, just let me know and we can trade back. And that's how it works.
Easy enough. Um, this is a little bit embarrassing. I don't find myself in many new situations that are sort of like this, but
We are unique, aren't we?
indeed, I must say, had I known about this place sooner, I would have been a more frequent guest. How did this place come to be?
Um, well, uh, the short version is the the gentleman who commissioned the building uh, wanted a place where he and his friends could share a drink or have and uh, essentially it started as sort of a clubhouse for the owner and his friends. Well, unfortunately, one of his friends told,
Hmm, as always happens. Oh,
We may have lost. Oh, there he is.
and then they told someone.
well. Either way, I'm glad somebody told somebody that told somebody. What did you say the owner's name was again? I didn't catch that.
I did not.
Hmm. Oh,
But you
okay.
are, now that you know the secret, there's no point trying to keep you out. Just don't tell anyone.
Of course not.
And her smile kind of drops for just a second.
Helia will kind of give her much the same look and just be like, I'm good at keeping secrets.
I'm glad. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening and don't hesitate to ask if there's anything else I can get you.
Mm, lovely, thank you.
And she walks away with your short sword.
Better get that back at the end of the night. 25 gold worth of drinks she will allow us to have for holding the sword.
How
Quite a
much
bit.
do drinks cost?
It's a good question. Suppose we'll find out, won't we?
We are going to end up working in this bar.
Yeah, I don't think we should ruin this place. And like Lulu will kind of like lean back on the back legs of her chair, looking around and getting a little comfortable. And this is pretty cool. It's no mutton chop, but
I mean, nowhere's the mutton chop.
That is very true.
Mutton chop's homey, you know? This is where you come to, I don't know,
Get information. People watch.
Mhm.
people watch. Speaking of people watching, I don't see our
No.
ginger friend anywhere.
No, me either.
Have you ever been to a place like this before?
Well, not here.
But there are other places you can't go to unless you know a guy who knows a guy.
Doesn't seem like a great business model.
It seems to be
These
working for
places
them.
usually aren't about making money.
Mm. It's true. And in this case, it might be more about sowing seeds of discord.
You
Maybe.
think all the people here? I mean, I guess it would attract folks from all across the city.
Yeah, but why cause chaos amongst your clientele? That doesn't make.
Well, what would you get if you were, I don't know, if you were a cleric?
Business if people that are arguing get into a real bad fight.
But what would a cleric of the forge have to gain from all of the guilds being at odds with each other?
Maybe they don't like the guilds.
Not part of the guilds.
That
Neutral.
we know of. That we know of.
Maybe they just want to sell weapons.
Clerics?
That very large man was making a very large weapon.
Agir? Yes, that was a rather nice blade.
Maybe they want business.
May
Maybe
not
they
be
just
all
want
of
to
the
drink.
clerics. It could just be Trellin. I don't know if we have to assume everyone's in league with him either.
True.
Didn't you say everyone's illegal?
Oh, probably everyone in this bar. But I don't necessarily know if everybody in the any cleric of the forge is necessarily in line with him. I think we need to actually talk to him.
Well, if
Maybe
you
he's
didn't run
just
away
trying
like
to
a
have
good
a
bitch.
Maybe he just wants to have a place to hang out with his friends.
Behind closed doors.
Well, yes.
Behind
It's very
secret
loud
doors?
outside.
Hmm. In my experience, when you're going behind secret doors, it's never a good thing at the end of the day.
What about surprise parties?
You still have to go through a door that you know about.
Is the ale good?
I don't know, Dustin, is it good?
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Does the
Is
tea
this
smell
up to
nice?
Thurston's standards?
Nothing's up to Thurston standards.
Oh.
Oh, it's an ale. It's obviously not up to Thurston's standards.
The natty 20, so 26.
The man can hold his liquor.
I mean, it's
That's
just ale, but it is good.
You've had worse.
It's like living your life drinking Miller High Life and then having a Guinness.
Oh, there.
I mean, it's still just beer. It is good.
But she's thick.
Yeah, there is good beer. I know you were biased, but there is good beer, you know?
Does the tea smell nice, at least? I didn't think you'd want an ale. I know it doesn't do anything for you.
No, not really. It just gets things very sticky.
True.
It has a nice, it's got like a little orange blossom, I think.
Mm,
Yeah, citrusy.
lovely.
The tea does smell very nice.
Hmm.
It's good tea.
It's good tea.
So we're just supposed to sit here and wait for him?
I don't really know what
Uh,
else to do.
A couple of minutes do go by as you guys are having this conversation, and your waitress comes back and says, "You doing okay? Did you want to get anything to eat? Or the drinks just enough for now?"
We haven't eaten since lunch.
What's on the menu?
She rattles off a number of different options. Um, Edwin really only ever has the one option. Um, but there are turkey legs or beef stew, or she could bring out a cheese and bread platter for the table. Um, there are um, other other things of that nature. She rattles off a few other options of similar types of things.
Oh, I could use a comforting bowl of beef stew. Maybe a cheese and bread platter.
Okay, pot pie, that sort of thing.
Comfort
I'm trying to
food.
think of good Ren Fair foods.
Scotch eggs.
Big pickle, giant pickle.
Cheesecake on a stick.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
deep fried
cheesecake on a stick.
cheesecake on a stick. That's on the dessert menu.
For dessert menu?
Next time we come has to be during Ren Fair time.
You'll melt.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I don't know if I could get time off from work to do that, but
Zoe will get the big turkey leg, big pickle.
As per usual, with a Ren Fair trip.
I like the Scotch eggs.
Yeah.
okay.
As per usual, I get none of the food.
Okay.
Lulu will go with stew.
So, a turkey leg, a big pickle, Scotch eggs, and a beef stew. Did I miss
And the
anything?
cheese and bread.
And a cheese and bread platter.
Yep.
All right. And she says, "All right, I will get that in for you right now."
Thank you.
And away she goes.
I have to admit, I'm curious about what's behind those doors that the Warforged are standing by.
Well, let's just
Secrets.
have dinner and watch. I really don't think trying to sneak
Agreed.
in is really our option
It's
here.
not now.
I mean,
That's
if we've
later.
proved anything today, sneaking is not in the cards.
What do you think happens to people who can't pay their tab?
She'll point to the Warforged.
Definitely lose their collateral, I'm sure.
Possibly the ability to come back.
And a finger.
That
Lily
escalated
can always
very
build you
quickly.
another one, Endeavor.
What?
If you lose a
But don't-
finger.
Hmm.
Lulu's gonna take the letter she got from this morning out and just kind of like idly read it. Just keep reading the as like the place is kind of just moving around them.
Okay.
And just kind of like take it in, try to get like I think she's getting frustrated that like that whoever this G person is wants her or that the party to figure this out, but doesn't want them to get like don't ask anybody, but figure out what's going on. So
Mhm.
I think she's trying to like she gets a little obsessive over like trying to read between the lines or get like an intent of what this might what this what the letter is trying to say.
Okay.
Maybe obsessing a little too much.
All right. Um, so you are doing that. Um, a couple of minutes later, you see uh one of the waitresses um comes out from behind the bar, and it is at this point I would like Endeavor and Lula to make perception checks.
Mm.
Lula, I would like you to make yours with disadvantage.
Need any help with disadvantage? Okay, it's a 4.
Oh. Um, uh, and 18.
Okay. Um, Endeavor and Helia, the two of you see this. Um, but there is a waitress who uh appears through a secret door behind the bar, similar to the secret door in the alley.
Mm.
And this particular waitress appears from through that secret door with a large tray of food. This tray has a number of dishes on it. In its center is an entire roasted turkey.
Hmm.
It is a big platter. Um, the waitress crosses um near your table. Actually, yeah, she crosses uh right at your table to the Warforge that um is standing like right behind you guys, and the Warforge steps aside and opens the door. Barmaid goes in, and the door closes.
When she opens the door, do we hear any sound or anything coming out of that room or catch a glimpse of whoever
Mhm.
might be in there?
I will leave the door open for a moment
Ah.
so that you guys can glimpse through the open door. Sam, once you see your two
I,
compatriots watching this waitress, you perk up and can see it as well.
I think it's more the smell of the food
Yeah,
gets her
probably.
attention.
So,
Yeah, and it's like, and this lady is carrying a tray of food like this, like a champ, and it is a full spread.
It's one of those like a
mhm,
server comes out with a tray of food that looks almost like your order
mhm,
and then
Mhm.
just keeps walking past. And like Lula just kind of like she's like,
mm,
"Ooh, oh."
mm.
And then what? And
Let's go.
then focuses.
Let's go into those fancy
But
folk in
yeah,
that fancy room.
Mhm.
in
Criminals in
the
that fancy room.
in this room, uh, between the four of you, you all notice. You notice. I can edge over here a little bit. There is a human. You see a hat peeking up over a large standing barrel that's on the floor just inside the door. So possibly a gnome or a halfling, one of the diminutive folk. Um, and you also see a a thin dwarf with not a full beard, but with a closely groomed goatee and long twirly mustache.
Ooh.
Familiar
Um,
long twirly mustache.
no. I mean, not unfamiliar. This style of long twirly mustache is common enough.
Okay.
But no, you do not recognize this individual. Um,
Mhm.
the human catches your eye because they are wearing um, a a high fantasy version of a modern business suit
Mm.
and a top hat. So top hats are not super common, but they exist and they're fun.
Mhm.
And this guy's wearing one. But the door then closes behind the waitress as she enters.
Are humans common? Like in Skytown
Any
at
any
least? Like
anything that is in Skytown, any random person that you see on this street, there is a 75% chance that they are either a dwarf or a gnome. There is a 25% chance that they are anything else.
got it.
Do the folks in there, and it's maybe not something we could have caught on a quick glimpse through the door, but comparatively, do they look more either wealthy and or pretentious? Do they look like they are people from a different class than those in the main room?
The dwarf and the human definitely.
Okay.
They are um well groomed, dressed nicely. Um, top hats are not common. Top hats are not common among the common folk.
That's what I was gonna say. All right, so this is something where it's more. This is a fashion statement.
Yes, they're all dressed very fashionably and
Mm.
well groomed and well kept. Um, Sam, I actually have a correction for you. It's not 75-25. In Skytown, it's probably 60-40.
But
60% dwarves and or gnomes, 40% anything else. Um, so this may have been the only human you've seen today, but I mean, they're just humans.
not
We
it's
saw
not
some
like
humans
Hmm.
this morning at the forge.
oh
Hey,
yeah. And I
we're
think I asked
human.
the same question.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it's not like there's a fire giant in that room. There's probably only one of those in Skytown.
Yeah.
It's very
Probably.
large. It's really hard to
Probably.
find housing.
Are there any other big buildings like the forge to Master Temple in Skytown?
Make a history check.
Oh shit, I might know. My oh my god, open my freaking sheet. Dirty 20.
Dirty
Hey.
20.
Uh-huh.
Shit, I might have to design another building
Well, the
now.
answer can be no. Because if there's no building big enough to house another one, there's probably only one. If there's another big building, I don't know. Or maybe not a fire giant, could be
I was
any
gonna
kind of giant,
maybe
you
it's an
know?
earth giant or a
Yeah, we
water
don't have to
giant.
put him in a box, you know?
Yeah. Um, I will say even with a dirty 20, I will just say for the moment, at least, the only other door that comes to mind that you think that a gear might be able to fit through are the gates into the mountain.
Mm.
Which, well,
Um,
that would track for a fire giant living under a mountain.
the the gates into the mountain, that actual doorway is probably about the size of the St. Louis Arch.
So giant, like
it is large and ornate beyond reason. Because
Lord.
dwarves are short, they clearly don't need a door that big.
But they're also show offs.
But they're
so
Yeah.
but they're dwarves and they make stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And go big or don't go.
Mm-hmm.
Go bigger, go bigger.
Yeah. Go
Pretty
big
much.
or go really big.
And this is how they end up letting loose really bad things from deep underneath the earth.
Yep.
You know
Fine,
what?
it's totally fine.
When you dig too greedily and too deep,
Mm-hmm.
there are consequences.
There are. Huh.
But yeah.
No.
So a couple of minutes go by, that waitress goes and enters that guarded room, and for the time being, does not appear to come out.
And when she
Um,
enters the guarded room, we don't get a glimpse through the door and see who might be in there. We don't have that view, right?
You see the human, the dwarf with the curly mustache, and
But
the
we don't
diminutive folk. But
specifically
no, none of
looking
those
for-
three people, you don't recognize any of them.
Okay.
But they are well, maybe not important folk, but rich folk.
Yeah, they're probably just rich. You do see that the dwarf with the curly mustache was standing and kind of leaning against the edge of a table. A table not too dissimilar from the one that you are currently sitting at. At least in its design of the maybe 12, 14 inches of that end of it that you can see.
I wonder how much it costs to get one of those rooms.
Probably more than a short sword.
Could
You
always
could have brought
ask.
Brutus and put him up instead.
No.
Rude. No.
Probably worth more than a short sword, though.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
definitely worth more than a short sword, but that you don't put up. No.
Well, I'm just saying, then Endeavor, you would
No.
back in.
The next thing you know, you're going to be putting me up.
I would never put you up. You're far too fun
We're
at a party.
sentient.
Brutus is
might
not
be sentient
collateral.
one day.
If you
Never
put a
know.
sentient being up as collateral, is that basically slavery?
No, it's actually slavery.
No, that is all the way slavery.
There's no basically about it.
Just the waitress walking by.
That
goes,
just got dark.
Yes. When we're not broadcasting,
Like dark history.
when we're not broadcasting, remind us to tell you about the joke from last night's game.
Oh, God.
Very
It's
good.
not Twitch safe. I don't want to get
okay.
canceled,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but it was pretty funny.
In the meantime,
Yes.
you guys are having this conversation. The band continues to play.
Do a little dance.
People are dancing at certain points. You're looking around, people are periodically getting up from their tables. They go and play darts. They are
there a lot
playing
of
card
mingling?
games. Yeah, there's mingling among groups. It's kind of like a nicer, like an upscale bar, not quite like nightclub level kind of atmosphere, but everybody's here to have a good time. Everybody's partying. Is there anything that you guys are doing when you are not just waiting for Billow Boots to appear or maybe not appear? What are you guys doing with your evening at this bar?
You said that there's people playing cards. Are there anybody like throwing the dice or anything like that?
Sure.
I go join.
There is actually so in the back corner, so the upper left corner of the bar, there is a six-top table with four patrons sitting at it. They are all playing a game of liar's dice. Um, and that is behind the keg. There is another table like in the corner. The table doesn't actually exist. There's a dartboard there, and there's two people playing darts.
Gotcha.
So,
I will I'm gonna kind of like take my drink and kind of like mosey around the room, like kind of checking out everything, but really I'm keeping an eye out and kind of opening my ears to see like what people are talking about.
sure.
But then I want to wander up to the folks that are playing the dice game and
Okay.
kind of watch first without just intruding and being like, watch for a
Um,
second and then ask if I can join in.
sure. The you do a lap. Um, there are people griping about their employers, um, griping about their spouses, um, discussing upcoming weekend plans. Lots of just casual, normal conversation. Um, the group playing liar's dice is completely silent. They are not having conversation at all. They are playing liar's dice. Um, the pair playing darts is similarly just having casual conversation, discussing their weekends, their families, that sort of thing.
Mind if I join your game?
Um, go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
17.
17. um, the now go ahead and make me an insight check.
Okay. Not great. Hold on. Uh, 6. Though, if this is an insight check to determine whether a creature is lying, then 12.
Okay. So with a 6, these four gentlemen, who are all dwarves, um, they all kind of like look at you and then kind of look to each other, and one of them says, "Sure, I guess a gold piece per die."
Okay.
We're too broke for this place.
Guys, we're in the wrong bar.
We're in the front bar for this.
Seriously. So, what's the buy in then? How many die you got going on?
Many as you can afford.
I'll put like 4 gold down.
Okay. Um, Court, I would like you to do me a favor.
Sure.
I would like you to roll I would like you to roll 4d6.
Okay.
Take a picture of it with your phone, and I would like you to send it to Rhodes.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'm gonna send it to Tina.
Oh,
Oh,
crap.
I
Hang
see.
on.
You don't trust me to.
I mean, I guess I could send it to you.
Oh, yeah, Tina apparently has to go get her phone.
Your phone's not next to you?
Right? Like, it's right here.
Yeah.
You said 4d6, right?
4d6.
Okay. I'll send it to you on Facebook, right?
Actually, I'm going to do it 4 times because there are 4 other people playing.
Confirmed receipt.
While this is happening, Lula is tinkering with one of her little constructs, her little clockwork toys. It's a little frog that hops across the table.
Endeavor's eyeing it suspiciously.
Waiting for it to talk.
Yeah.
No, I tried that already. It doesn't talk yet.
Start
Not
dancing
even-
like the WB frog.
Yeah.
Not even like Brutus. I mean, Brutus, yes, he's hard to understand, but at least Brutus talks. Sometimes very
Brutus
loudly.
just goes bark, 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 bark.
He's not canine.
You speak bark bark?
You speak bark bark.
The problem,
while-
is that there's a misplaced semicolon somewhere in the code, and we haven't found it yet. It's something that got stuck on repeat. Didn't close the brackets. Uh-oh.
Tell you the truth.
He just goes, hey, yo, bow wow. No, I just
All
am
right.
picturing Brutus as canine.
All right.
That was like the first iteration. That was even pre-Endeavor.
So, Tina,
Yes.
I just want to make sure that you're looking at these the same way I am.
Where are these?
Facebook Messenger.
Sweet. Okay.
Communicate like 4 different ways.
I know. I'm like,
I
where
know.
have they come through yet? They have not.
I have sent it.
It's like 50-50 whether or not I message Sam on Discord, Facebook, or
TikTok, text.
TikTok,
That's
or text message.
That's 4 different ones, so it can't be 50-50. Same.
There's less of a chance
25,
on TikTok.
25. Yeah, it's less TikTok. That's just sending videos.
And then add in which text chain.
Yeah.
Where did you? Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay.
All right.
She's in recipient.
I am
So
in recipient.
the first player, the first picture you should see, has a gold die in the 3rd position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
The second player has a red die in the 3rd position.
Mm-hmm.
The third player has a pipped die in the 3rd position.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4th player, positions 1 and 3 are numbered dice,
Mm-hmm.
and positions 2 and 4 are pipped.
Yes.
Okay.
Should I have, like, put my dice in a line and something?
Well, he's sending it like
I'm
all the other
playing
players.
for 4 different people.
I know.
So Court, you're first.
Okay.
The way that you play. Oh, have you never played Liar's Dice before?
No.
Okay, so the way you play Liar's, I love Liar's Dice. The way you play Liar's Dice is, I'm gonna give this to you as just base level information.
Okay.
All 5 players are starting with 4 dice.
Okay.
Okay. So you need to, on your turn, and the turns go in a circle, you need to make a claim about the number of dice that are showing. And you can only see your dice. You cannot see any of anybody else's dice. But you can make claims about what you think the total dice are showing.
Okay.
So right now there are 20 dice in play, 5 players, 4 dice per player. Right?
Okay.
So if you think that there is 1 6 showing out of all 20 dice, you make the claim 1 6. Um, you cannot, when you make a claim, you have to claim a minimum of the number of dice that the value is showing. So if you make a claim and you say out of 20 dice there are 5 6s, I cannot make a claim that there are only 4 of something showing because you just made a claim at 5 dice.
Okay.
When you get to a point that um, that you are uncomfortable making a more egregious claim, you can call out a lie, and you can do that at any time to any other player. If you call someone out that you think they're lying, like if out of 20 dice, if we get to a point that there are, I have to say that there are 21 6s, obviously that can't be true. Someone will call out that I'm lying. And then after you call them out, everyone shows their dice. If the claim ends up being true, the person who called you out loses a die. If the claim is false and the person who claimed it was lying, then they lose a die. And the game continues last person standing. Once you're out of dice, you're out.
Okay.
All right. So I will
So,
make the. Go ahead.
so just to clarify, so could I say something like no one at the table has more than 1 6
No,
in
you have to call. You have to claim a specific quantity of a specific result.
Okay.
So, and if if you claim that there are 3 6s
Mhm.
and someone calls you out and there are 5 6s, well, there were at least 3 6s, so
Mhm.
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Mm.
There were 3 6s, there just happened to be 2 others. Um, so you can underestimate and be okay. You get into trouble when you overestimate.
Yeah. All right. So there are at least 4 1s at this table.
Okay. Um, and it goes to the. I will just call them players 1 through 4. Um, player 1 says. You said that there are 4 1s.
Yes.
Okay. Um, I will claim. Player 1 will claim that there are 4 5s, which you can match the quantity if you you can match the quantity if you change the quality. So you said 4 1s. I'm allowed to say 4 5s and
Okay.
change the result, but keep the quantity of that result the same.
Okay.
So player 1 says that there are 4 5s. Player 2 says there are 5 5s. And at any point, you don't have to wait for your turn. At any point, you can call someone out for lying.
Okay.
Player 3 says that there are 5 twos.
There are 5 threes.
It is not your turn. I have one more player.
Oh, sorry. I kept thinking there were 4 of us total.
No, there are 5. There are actually 5 of you total. I should have named them players
Gotcha.
2 through 5. The final player. You said there were 5 twos. The final player says that there are 5 threes.
Okay.
And now it is your turn. So you have to claim that there are at least 5 of something.
Okay. I'll say there are 5 fours.
Player 1 is going to call you out.
Okay.
So, if there are at least 5 fours, then you win the round and player 1 is going to lose a die. If you are wrong and there are less than 5 fours, then you lose a die.
Okay.
How many fours? You said 5
I said
fours.
5 fours, yeah.
How many fours do you have? You have 0. Player 1 has 1 4. Player 3 has 1 other 4. So there are only 2 fours.
Okay.
So you lose a die.
Okay.
Over the next, I'll say, half hour or so, make a deception check.
Fuck. Well, an 8, but I rolled a natural 1.
Oh.
You got 8 total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cats dice can't decide if they like hell yeah or not.
You make it down to the final 2 players. And unfortunately, after you get down to the final 2 players, there's only 4 dice on the table being played. So those rounds start to go pretty quick, and unfortunately, you draw the short end. Not even really through any fault of your own. It quickly becomes just a game of math and attrition.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you lose your 4 dice and your 4 gold.
Well, good game, fellas.
The make one more persuasion check. Just to encompass the attitudes and the regards of everyone else at the table.
11.
11. Okay. With the winnings that that player 1 had gained, they buy a round of drinks with those winnings for everyone at the table.
Nice.
So, and before you even ask, their names are dwarf names.
Fantasy name generator.
Fantasy name generator / D&D dwarf names.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised you didn't just start using Lord of the Rings dwarf names. Just when in doubt. Yeah.
When in doubt, name the ones from The Hobbit.
Yeah. Thorin.
This is everyone at the bar. we've got Feely and Keely and Ori and Nori and Dory and Biffer and Boffer and Bomber. And one halfling named Bilbo for some fucking reason.
Fell into the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
The rogue, it's fine.
We've got Tormund. Tormund was the winner of that game. We've got we've got Ermark.
Spelling that with like Irma with an RK on the end.
Oh yeah, we should be having spelling bees.
Yeah, spelling bees. Tormund. Who's got a spelling for Tormund?
Tormund.
M-U-N-D.
A-N-D.
Damn it!
Hey, I went
Hey.
I was like, I don't trust it.
Tormand.
Tormand.
Tormand lives in Scotland.
Yeah. Ermark.
Irma with an
E-R-M-A-R-C.
I spelled it I-R-M-A-R-K.
But it's C-H.
H-R-M-A-R-K.
U-R-M-A-R-K.
You?
I was so close.
Ermark.
Ermark.
Okay.
I'm
But
not even bothering with these. There's no way.
No, they're going down.
They're going
Key
down.
players. Okay. Key characters.
They will be.
Will be
We will
now.
make them. They're coming with us.
Garrick. I will say, if any of you spell any of these names right, inspiration. Because that's fun.
G-E-R-R-I-C-K.
G-A-R-R-I-C-K?
G-A-R-R-E-K.
Court, how did you spell it?
G-E-R-R-I-C-K.
No C. G-E-R-R-I-K.
It's probably like
I think these dwarves just don't know how to spell.
G-H-E-R-I-G-H.
Quiet you. Not everyone can be good at everything.
Right.
If you notice, there's no Scholars Guild.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, Belbreck.
E-E-L-E-R-E-C-H.
That's how I spelled it too.
May have missed an L.
Or with a
Not-
T on the end.
It's not CH. It's just a K.
Come on! Damn it! There's no rhyme or reason either. It's not like there's like
No,
a
there's
set
not.
of rules.
No, there's no
Ready to
rules.
fantasy
face
spelling?
palmed the keyboard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're like, okay, this sounds like this, so just change the stupid English letters.
Close your eyes and type with your feet and see what comes out.
And
All
then-
right.
And then change a little
One
bit
L,
of it.
1 L or 2 L's is basically a coin flip.
Yeah.
There's no real
So-
reason. You can have either.
So, in the spirit of playing Spelling Bee, a few hours later, you've been drinking, you've eaten, some of you have gone off to mingle with other tables. You've passed the time appropriately.
I check on Brutus once or twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to make sure no one's stolen him.
Would he just go with someone else?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think you'd have a choice if they just like him up in a bag.
Kind of heavy.
A really
They
big
need to
bag.
make like
Yeah.
suitcase mode for Brutus, where he turns into like a backpack.
Backpack. Literal
Um,
purse dog.
Yeah.
Dog of holding.
Doggo of holding.
I'm pretty
Oh my
convinced
God.
she's already got a still inside of his belly that she's trying to brew her own beer.
Is that why you called him Brutus?
Yeah.
It's BREW.
Yeah. Spelling bee.
T-Y-S. Brutus.
So a few hours pass, and you see one of the guarded doors open. As it happens, it is the one in the middle, and three people emerge. The first person you do not recognize. The second person is Trallin. And the third person you do recognize. The third person is, and once these three people leave, the door closes, and the Warforged bouncer steps to the side of the door, no longer blocking it. These three exchange handshakes. Trallin is, we know, is a gnome. The first person through the door that you did not recognize is actually a halfling. Who is mostly just a hair taller and a bit stockier than Trallin. The third person who you do recognize is what race?
And this is a different room than the one we saw
Mm.
open before.
Correct. The woman that you recognize that follows these two gentlemen out of the room is someone that you recognize. They are another member of the Deep Armory. And this is Sersha.
Saiorse.
Spelled as intended.
That's the one that always gets me. Always gets me.
I chose that name just because I know how much you all hate playing Spelling Bee. So I gave her a real name that was all fucked up and Irish.
I love that name though. Court, can you spell it again?
Saoirse. Sersha.
Thank you.
Because why not, say the Irish.
Do we know? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask if we know who she is. Do we know like what standing she has in the guild? Is she another adventurer? Is she like
someone we've worked with?
Someone we've worked like how do we know her?
I will answer that in just a moment.
Okay.
The three of them exit the room. They all exchange handshakes. Trallin and the halfling both turn to leave. Sersha heads to the bar. And she likes a shred of personal space. She's gonna come over here. I would like everyone to make a history check. Everyone who is interested in knowing anything about Sersha.
You can do so much better than that. I believe in you.
Can it do 95% better?
Yes.
Oh.
No, it wasn't a natural, but it was definitely a 5. 12. I have a +7 to history. This should not be hard.
Only have +1.
17.
So,
there it is.
I'm sorry, Rhodes, what did you get?
17.
Okay. Court?
12.
And Tina.
13.
Okay. Um. Uh. Zilny, you've worked with Sersha before. Um. Cop department, not adventurer department. Um. Back in your days as a beat cop, you've done you did stakeouts early in your career. She's an elf, so she's probably like 600 years old, but she still looks 20 because fuck elves.
Right.
Um, but yeah, early in your career, you would do like stakeouts. She has since become more of um more of an investigator. Different department than Helia. You've never worked with her specifically, but you're passively familiar with her reputation. Um, more or less in good standing, but the everyone from the ground all the way up to the top, the entire um, geopolitical structures based on a gig economy. So um, everybody just does contract work. Everything is more or less semi private contracts. But you just pay guild dues. So you might spend, you might have like a year or a couple of year contract as just like a city guard, and that's a contract that goes through the Deep Armory Guild. Um, very few people are just like career beat cops. You people bounce around a lot depending on what work is available and needs to be done and that sort of thing.
Still definitely got an award for the number of times he renewed the exact same contract and just kept doing it.
Yeah.
I hope he has like one of those off-collar awards, like most steps taken in a single
Yeah.
week. As like,
Um. So yeah. So um. Trallin and the halfling uh are sort of speaking casually um as they pass your table and head out the door. Door closes behind them, and they are gone.
And I'm sorry, Dustin, quick question. You said she's an elf, right?
Yeah, she's an elf.
Is it weird or uncommon for non-gnomes and dwarves to be members of the guild?
No.
Okay.
It is more common for a non-dwarfkin, which I will just use as the catch-all for dwarves and rock gnomes, and similar folk. It is more common for dwarfkin in the Deep Armory to be adventurers and not guardsmen.
Hmm.
Not to say that it is rare, it is just uncommon for a non dwarfkin to be a city guard. But she did it. I mean, in 600 years with one guild, you end up doing just about anything anyway.
Fair.
Um, but yeah, at least in the entire time that she was doing the cop contract, she was she was definitely the only full elf. She was likely the only elfkin at all doing that contract at the time she was. But to have just like any other non-dwarfkin, there's a like I said earlier, 60-40. 60% dwarfkin, 40% anything else. So But yeah, the two diminutive folk leave, and Sersha heads to the bar.
So we'll just kind of sigh and put on his social face to he'll just down the rest of his drink so he has an excuse to go up there um, and move over next to her, put his drink down on the bar and just say, "It's been a while, probably a couple hundred years at this point."
She looks over and then down. um, and she says, "Oh, Zill, they'll just let anybody in here nowadays, won't they? What are you drinking?"
Rude.
Well, my friend managed to get in, and I figured I'd tag along, see what it was about. But just having an ale, nothing, nothing special. How have you
Nothing
been?
beats the classics. I've been good. Business is good. How are you been?
Retirement is interesting, though I don't know if becoming an adventurer is really retiring. But you know,
I don't think that's really retiring, Zill.
yeah, they wouldn't let me renew my contract anymore, so I had to pick a new contract.
I'm not entirely sure I've ever heard that in 600 years with the guild. Must be a record.
I did get a little award. Yeah,
I think it. I was there for that ceremony. I'm pretty sure. I may have been hungover for it, but I'm pretty sure I was there.
fair enough.
Yeah. Doing anything interesting with those new and exciting and different contracts?
Uh, eh, kind of between contracts at the moment. Nothing special. So,
Downtime's important.
what about you? You've made a name for yourself, especially once you moved into the investigating as opposed to just standard beat cop.
Yeah, investigating for a while. Um, Still doing a fair amount of that. I'm trying to branch out a little bit, do some other contracts, more adventuring type stuff. Um, you know, just keeping things fresh and interesting.
Well, if ever any of those contracts needs an extra helping hand, happy to, you know, join up, help you get that adventuring contract done.
Uh, make a persuasion check.
But I'm pretty sure that's a negative. Do I have a negative modifier there?
Good.
No, just neutral. Just neutral. I can take
Okay.
11.
Um, she looks at you for a second and then says, actually, I did just pick up a contract. Um, the the Skytown mines into the mountain, kind of um, the entrance just a few blocks of here, just the northeast edge of town. Um, Apparently the guild was uh digging out a new mine shaft and came across some kind of cave system and found like an ancient like settlement with like actual buildings. Um, and so they're putting together a contract of people looking to trying to clear it out and see what's what and that sort of thing. So yeah, if you've got a couple of friends that can even just provide muscle or any kind of expertise that I am trying to put a team together.
Yeah, could certainly ask them. I mean, a couple of these guys are, well, best thing I could ever fidgetly make is a lighter, and he pulls out the beat up lighter that he's broken and fixed over the years and flicks it open. But there's a lot of talented people in my crew. Happy to ask
Sure.
them. Yeah, anytime we gotta meet up if we want to join, or
Yeah, she actually um pulls out a scrap of parchment and writes um a date and time, um and she also writes another name that is different from the dummy name that I wrote down, even though you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna use that name because I love it. She writes down the name of the halfling, um, and she says, meet back here, um, this date, this time, um, room 2. That's his uh standard meeting room. Um, you may have seen him as we were leaving. I just got done with a meeting with him and our religious expert. His name's Rickety Hake.
okay.
Um, but yeah, he's the one putting the crew together. So don't spread it around too much because more hands make a smaller cut. You know how it is.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, it's not my contract to tell anybody else about, so I appreciate you putting the offer up. Yeah, I'll definitely check and see if anybody else, at the table over there, and he'll gesture to um, everyone and say, yeah, see if they're interested.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, if it's just the four of you, then that's we definitely have the budget for that. So sounds good. Well, hey, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, me too. He'll take. I assume that the bartender has like filled the drink, his glass. Since yeah,
Yeah.
he'll just take it and little cheers up, probably high up on his tiptoes, and then head back to his table.
All right, sounds good. You head back to your table. Sersha will she gets her drink refilled. After a few minutes, she downs her drink, gets up, and as she is on her way out, um, she passes by your table, and as she pulls up the hood on her jet black cloak, um, she gives you and the all of you really um a slight smile and a nod as she passes by, and she leaves.
She's so
And
cool.
yeah,
I love her.
and
Lula
and
genuinely says that as soon as the door closes.
We can get you a cloak like that.
Oh, she's so cool.
oh, Sam, you don't even realize how cool she is.
Oh, I bet her mini looks awesome.
I feel like
I
she's one of
mean,
those people that you're like, oh my god, who do I tell her I want to be friends without being awkward and weird?
Right? Like I wanna, yeah.
And you guys are just like, and
where did I put her
Zill
mini?
knows this person.
Yeah,
Zill?
Zill's like they actually talked.
Still, tell me everything about her.
I mean,
How do you know her?
They have worked together for like 300 years.
Yeah, she's a really good cop and investigator. I don't know.
She's so
Always
cool.
had a real good eye for corners. Like she's great to work with.
awesome.
But he will
Mm.
relay, like, hey, if we're trying to get close to Trallin without getting
Mm.
too awkwardly close to Trallin, well, this would be our opportunity. He's the religious expert for this little mission.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Can't hurt to check it out. Maybe get some gold on the way.
Also, it'd be really interesting to see what's under there.
Yeah, I kind of assumed we knew everything underneath that mountain.
Oh, that must be
I think
really,
it-
really under the.
It sounds
Mm.
like what she said, something a new cave system.
Yeah.
Could have been down there for centuries.
Yeah, we
Well,
could really use some more gold.
We could honestly.
Dustin, is it just normal to have, since it's a gig economy, to be like, yeah, I've got like 4 contracts going at the same time, whatever, it's fine, no one cares as long as I do everything on time.
You have to
Yeah,
fill
I
out your
mean,
COI.
as long as you're not in breach of any of those contracts,
Good.
you can be working on multiple projects at the same time.
You have to go down to the special place and like declare your conflict of interest, just to, if anything.
Okay.
Some of the
Fill out the
contracts are
appro-
under the table. Like the one we're currently working on seems a little under the table.
Yeah, I feel like there wasn't a lot of signing of paperwork for that one
Just kind of
True.
given to us
Nope.
without names.
without
Like
anything
usually,
but an initial.
it was more just kind of like a, hey, can you do this thing?
Yeah.
But I mean, under the mountain.
When's the meetup?
I show the
You look
piece of
at
paper.
you look at the piece of paper. It's 3 days from now.
Oh,
Plenty of time to prepare. Maybe do
Yeah.
some
mm,
light checking in to some of the other usual haunts about some of these supposed rumors. Maybe
Yeah.
separately, we check out some places and then we'll reconvene and what these people are about.
Sounds like a ghost plan as any.
So do we think that the halfling is the one who was convening, or
Mm-hmm.
so we think that so the halfling brought Trallin into this?
That's how I'm understanding it. It sounds like the halfling is organizing all of this. He brought in Trallin, he brought in Sorsha, and now
That must
she's
be
tapping
Golden
in us.
Expanse. He's a minor, theoretically. At
Yeah.
least 3 different guilds.
Hmm.
2 different guilds and the clerics.
Yeah.
Their crew's bigger.
Mm.
Even just causing a stir within a group can cause rumors of anything.
Maybe
Find out.
the rumors or whatever disruption that's supposed to be being spread actually has more to do with that ancient civilization or something.
Kind of what I'm thinking
Who knows
too.
what we're going to find down there?
What do we know of, the history of the place we live?
So it is an exceptionally ancient
Mhm.
city. This is so the Dwarven Imperia is separated into 9, now 5, essentially city states
Mm.
that all answer to essentially the Dwarven Emperor. So there are Core Savabru
Mhm.
and by extension Skytown is the city at the edge of the ocean, the
Mhm.
city at the edge of the water. Um there are 4 other dwarven cities. There used to be 8 other dwarven cities. Um, through a variety of circumstances and time, those cities have been either abandoned, lost, or both. Both. Abandoned and then lost.
Mm.
Um, the um in the mount inside the mountain there are entrances to various mines.
Mhm.
Some of those mines open into the Underdark or the Deeps, um, as they're sometimes referred to.
Mm.
Um, and at that point, standard Underdark fare, um, um, uh, Dwergar, Drow, Illithid, um, aberrations of all sorts. Um,
Periodically, you get somebody, you hear through the grapevine, somebody needs a bunch of people to come in because there was like a whoopsie. And like, oops, we blasted too far, and now there's just a bunch of tentacles.
yeah,
Okay.
and that happens. Um, it does not happen often. Um, but yeah, within living memory, that has happened a few times where there's been a miscalculation. They are trying to open up a tunnel
Mm.
similar to this job here. They're trying to open up a new tunnel
Mm.
in the mine and they stumble across something that they weren't expecting. That sort of thing. Um, it is important to note that uh, none of you have deep familiarity with
Mm.
this, but just surface level intelligence tells you that um, the city under the
Bless you.
mount, the city under the mountains, um, is pretty much, and I'll pull up the splash page with the
Mm.
map. So, at the west end of the city, the enormous building is the gate under the mountain. That is where you go when you go into the real city proper. Um, you guys are. No, don't do that. No, stop doing that.
It's like I said no.
Boundaried.
Foundried. Um, so I have now
Mm.
um brought up the Dire Keg.
Mm.
New
So
location
kind of
unlocked.
new location.
Do we have fast
Um,
travel?
so north of the Dire Keg is
Mm.
the entrance to Skytown Mines. And I will name that location.
Mm.
It's this big X-shaped building here. Um, Skytown mines extend, yes, into the mountains, but they extend to the northeast. The city proper is mostly to the
Mm.
west. So when you guys go into Skytown mines, you are traveling away from Korsavaber.
Mm. And the mines themselves, though, do still fall under the control of this
Golden
particular.
Expanse. is
The
the
what?
mining. The Golden Expanse
The guild?
is the mining guild.
Okay.
So it is lots of the Golden Expanse, and the First Break and House First Breaker, um, is the dwarven house that had that pretty much heads most things industry craftsmanship.
Mhm.
So Golden Expanse, Dragon Steel, um, Cold Forged is the masons, Dragon Steel being blacksmiths, farriers, those sorts of crafts.
Mhm.
Um, they have a little bit in Grave Prestige, which is tailors and carpenters. Um, but that's the First Breakers have their hands in, mostly those three guilds.
Hmm.
All right.
All right.
But yeah, you finish your drinks. Your tab thus far comes out to 17 gold pieces.
We ought to get home soon.
Edwin just gave us money, remember? We're good. We're good. We're good.
How much did he give us?
We have
He
enough.
gave us like 20 gold.
We have enough.
Yeah, it was the thanks for
like-
saving my dumb brother gold.
Yeah, it's like half our party funds, but it's enough.
In one night, in like 3 hours.
This place is expensive. We can't hang here anymore.
This is like the best place we've hung out at, though.
Yeah.
How much does this new job pay?
We got 15
The one
gold to
from-
start.
The one from Sorja?
Oh, the one from
Yeah,
Sorja.
the new one. Or is it just a sort of, finders keepers once you're underneath?
I'm getting the vibe it's at least thus far finders keepers.
Hmm.
Find your own fortune. Yeah. So.
Dustin and I will pull you said 17?
17 gold pieces is your current tab.
We'll close out the tab.
You have collateral for 25.
It's funny, you think we have 25.
Well, you have the sword. Your collateral is worth 25.
Right, but I don't think Helia wants to lose her sword.
It's not my good one. It's one of the spares.
Do you want them to hold on to your sword until we hit 25?
Don't you always say that you can never have too many swords?
You guys are welcome to keep drinking until you rack up a 25 gold piece tab. And then just tell your waitress to keep the sword.
Maybe we can use that for another day. Unless you think we shouldn't spend the party funds, but
We have it.
First dibs on the next sword we come across, I guess.
Do you think we could build mystery person for the cost of this? We're doing it on the job.
It's true.
Well, true, but
Can you have him send the bill to G?
I mean, I guess we could try.
We'll take a receipt and give them a drink till we get... Okay. So we'll drink till we owe just the sword, and then get a receipt.
Submit it for
We're
reimbursement.
gonna expense that shit.
Okay.
Make sure it's itemized.
Yeah.
Just imagining, like, okay, what was the reason? Networking. We have to
Collaboration.
write down everyone's name.
Everyone that was
who's
there.
at the business dinner.
You need your
Yep.
attendees, and you can't use federal funds for the alcohol.
Oh, then we don't. They don't pay for any of it then.
Well, no, they have their own money too. That's perfectly acceptable.
That's true.
If you write it in and the sponsor approves it ahead of time, then you can use it.
So yeah. settle up after that and probably
Yeah.
disperse.
I feel like it was getting quite late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
And we all live places and stuff.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah.
I assume we live somewhere.
we
That's
we
next
all have-
session. We have to figure that out.
we
Yeah.
all have, we have places we live.
Join us next week when we figure out where the fuck do you live?
We spend half a session trying to find one another after we disperse for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out the Skytown housing market. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
it'll be thrilling, you guys.
Where's okay, actually, let's be real, none of us have a shit ton of money. So we all probably live in the part of town where people who don't have a shit ton of money live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Zilla lives in like a tiny micro studio apartment or something.
You think it's funny that
Tiny for a gnome.
yeah, tiny for a gnome,
Yeah.
which means it's shoebox sized.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
go in there. I actually have to wild shape to fit into the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lula lives in her shop. There's no way that
I
she doesn't
literally
just
thought
sleep
you were
on the
gonna
floor.
say she lives in her dog, and I was
She
like,
could!
Yeah.
bigger on the inside. I'm like,
She
oh,
lives
really,
inside
Ty?
Brutus. I would not be comfortable. Next time.
He's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Brutardus.
Right.
Inside, there's a
Yeah.
doorknob.
And
Magic
yeah.
doorknob
Yeah.
to a magic mansion.
the doorknob is his tail.
Yeah.
All right. And we will call it there for the evening.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Right.
There's the
Thanks.
party
Happy
cookies.
Dustin, we went through the door. You happy?
We did.
Yeah.
went through the
In
door.
the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you guys.
We went through the door.
Aw,
We met
shucks.
Saoirse.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right,
Met
friends.
Saoirse.
Cool.
She's so cool.
Got to see the Dire Keg.
The
Yeah,
I
Dire
know.
Keg.
We need to earn more money so we can come back to this bar.
Yeah, right now we are at mutton chop level funds.
Yeah.
This is a special treat.
So I will throw this out there to you guys before we end the stream real quick. The way you gain entry into the Dire Keg is you go in the front door to the shitty front business and you talk to the barman.
Hmm.
That's Corbin Whipcracker. Mans the bar, mans the front bar at the Dire Keg. You talk to Corbin and say that you're looking for Corbin. Corbin's not working tonight. Ask for... And Corbin gives you the password to give to the real doorman around the corner in the alley. And that password changes every night. But the way that you acquire the password is the same. You find Corbin, tell him you're looking for Corbin. Corbin's not working tonight. Ask for Oscar. Ask for Biffer. Buffer. Bomber. And that is how you gain entry to the Dire Keg.
So, how did poor Corbin get stuck with the shitty bar that he has to run? Like,
I'm sure you pissed somebody off.
Because it's quiet and that job is really easy because no one typically goes in there, and if they do, they don't stay.
okay.
Is that right?
It's also probably worth noting that all 4 of the people that were in the front bar all work there. There are no actual patrons in the front bar. That's why it's called the front bar, because it's a front.
So I was like, I told you.
I like how this bar is just so bad, like just so it's just dingy and it's never occupied that it just never popped up on anyone's radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, nah, I mean, like
I
that
mean,
one just
it could be any one of a dozen just shitty bars
Yeah.
in town. There are good
Mhm.
bars and there are shitty bars. This one just happens to never close, and no one knows why. But now you do.
people seem to go in and out pretty frequently. Which, to be fair, it's a shitty bar, so
People go in looking for a drink, and they go in, they realize how shitty it is, and then they leave right away.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah,
cool.
Finn for
Finn.
this week.
Yay!
Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are
And
we
thanks
are
for
we
playing.
actually partying party wise? Are we actually going to our homes? Okay,
Guess we'll
Don't
find
ask
out
me.
next
just
week.
making sure I don't touch my sheet in between.
It is the end of the night. If you guys are going to your home, or if you rent a room at the mutton shop and that's why you hang out there,
Likely.
for the purposes of actually answering your question, you will have a long rest before next session.
Okay,
How's that?
I don't want to update things if we're not going to. So
Yeah.
End the day, long rest.
Cool.
somewhere we're resting in a place.
All
All right.
Awesome.
Bye, Internet.
Okay, bye,
Yeah.
internet.
Bye.